Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today, we are taking a look at the case Stockman. Very, very excited about this video, and I'm sure some of you out there are as well. So, just in case you guys haven't seen my review on this knife, even though this here is the case regular size Stockman with the patriotic Kieranite scales, this review is standing in for the case regular size Stockman as a whole, right? I know Case makes hundreds and hundreds of different versions of all their models. This is not a review of the handle pattern or anything. This is just a review of the case Stockman. So, yippee-ki-yay, mother truckers. There we go. Let's go ahead and get this video started. I'm not going to give the whole long preamble we gave for this knife because I don't really want to say it again. Even though you guys are seeing these videos maybe a week, 2 weeks apart, I filmed these on the same day, and yeah, I can't be bothered to say that shit twice. Okay, we're a minute into the video, I can curse. That's okay. Anyways, blade length, sharpened edge, coming in a little bit less than 3 inches. So this blade is not quite as long as the blade that was on the Trapper. Let's measure back to the bolsters. Overall blade length, though, we are coming in just a hair over 3 1/4 inches. On that blade, oh my gosh, are we gonna have to measure all the blades? I guess we might as well, right? They're here, we might as well measure them. Okay, ouch. Did I just give myself a damn paper cut on the edge of this? What? That was weird. No, I don't. Okay, I'll explain what happened there in just a second. The sheep's foot blade, we're looking at about 1 3/4 inches of sharpened edge. Overall length, like 2 1/4. Okay, there's a sheep's foot blade. Let's take out the little spay blade. Sharpened edge, about the same, 1 3/4 inches, and overall length about 2 1/4. Okay, so what happened there when I had that weird little outburst? When I've got these books here, right? These are books on the table, and when I was reaching over here, I felt this sharp pain in my arm, like by my wrist. I was like, "What the heck was that?" At first, I thought I gave myself a paper cut because sometimes I just kind of like rest my hands on the edge of the books. No, it wasn't a paper cut. I didn't see any blood. I was like, "What the heck happened?" What happened was I got like an arm hair stuck in the book, and then I like put my weight on it and then moved my hand forward and ripped it out. So this review's off to a great start. Let's go ahead and do our size comparisons. Here are the rats, first of all. There's the Model 1 and the Model 2. Awesome. Let's go ahead and bring out the Civivis. Ba-ding. Ding, Elementum and the Praxis. There we go. Very, very cool. And let's bring out our USA made comparisons. Spyderco PM2 and the Benchmade Bug Out. And I guess let's compare against some slip joints because we might as well, right? Might as well. Let's bring out that case Trapper from earlier. There we go. And let's bring out, just because I have it here, the Rough Rider Reserve. This is what the exact same like size comparison lineup we did in this review, but you know, forgive me for the unoriginality. And you know what? Actually, you know what? We will do something original. We will do something new and different and unique. Let's bring out some different slip joints. Here's the Steel Wheel Solus Light, one of my favorite knives ever, really. This is one of my favorite knives ever. And bam, the Cold Steel Kudu Light. There's another slip joint for you. Ta-da! Isn't that wonderful? Okay. My air conditioning just turned on. Dang it. All right, what are we looking at here? Our blades, all 3 of them, are Case's stainless steel. They're true sharp stainless. I think it's marked on this blade. Yeah. Case SS, that stands for stainless steel. And we have the patriotic Kieranite scale. Ooh, I'm filming this in the beginning of July. I'm filming this on a Monday. This is July 1st. I should have saved the review for this knife for like this weekend, which would be like the weekend of July 4th. But instead, you guys are getting the Gerber Minnesota review. Yuck. Seems like a disservice, but whatever. Anyways, Kieranite, nickel silver bolsters, brass pins, and brass liners. Let's go ahead and go cut some stuff. Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that just beautiful? So peaceful, serene, idyllic. If it wasn't for the damn bugs and all this trash that's been thrown here by degenerates, it all smells like crap. In fact, there's probably a pile of shit somewhere under this trash. There's a whole ass trampoline right here. I don't get it. Why come out here to throw your trash? Lunacy. Absolute lunacy, degeneracy, and stop. I know it's none of you guys. You guys are all beautiful and perfect, but the people that do this stuff, my goodness. Anyways, let's talk about something that's actually good instead of the trash. Case Stockman. Let's get into it. So, start off with the action. No half stop. Kind of traditional for case. This one, if you saw my video on the Trapper, this one has a little bit of a lighter spring. It's a little bit more of a softer, it's a little more of a soft talker. There we go. There we go. These two feel about the same. Man, those scales just look crazy good, don't they? Those are just, oh my gosh. Those are pretty. Those are real pretty. Okay. But yeah, action is fine. Not my favorite slip joint action, but, you know, it's fine. It's what Case is going for, I guess. How are the ergos? Ergos are pretty good. You do have this large blade here, but honestly, like more than just like being an annoyance, it kind of helps the ergos feel better. It makes the knife a little more hand-filling. If you have that blade out, knife feels really good. In fact, this blade here, the grip you get on this, great for whittling. I believe this is a coping blade. I'd call this a sheep's foot, but I think it's technically a coping blade. And here is the spay blade. Not a pin blade, this is a spay blade. But, yeah, ergos work out with this guy, too. Not going to do any kind of how does it carry, because basically just a pocket dropper or a pocket sheather. But, there we go. Let's go ahead and cut some stuff. These dang flies making me want to cut my face off. Okay. So, maybe we'll divide... You know what? We'll use all the blades at least once. Woo! Whoops. That was my bad. Got in the choil. Okay. Let's go ahead and do some utility cuts. Very nice. Very nice. Steal a line from B's blades. And this guy, I mean, I guess we'll just do this. Cuts good, in my opinion. All right, you know what? Let's bring out this blade again. There we go, felt okay. Let's go ahead and crunch down on this thing. 1, 2, 3. Did all right. Thin blade. Thin blades don't typically do good with the rope, so it's not bad. And then let's do our pull noodle. And we're going to stick to the long clip point blade just because it's going to go all the way through the noodle. 1, 2, 3. Yep. No problemo whatsoever. Slice through nice and cleanly. Guys, it's a traditional pocket knife. These things are meant to cut. Right? This is going to be a supreme apple slicer. Good looking knife. Good looking knife. All right, let's go ahead and get back to the table and talk about it. I call it a good looking knife and then immediately throw it on the ground. Slip joints are not the best throwing knives. We'll go with that. Alrighty guys, let's go ahead and get into what I'm liking and not liking about this knife. So, first of all, it's made in the USA. That's cool. I like that. It's always a good day when I get to review a USA made knife. Next thing, this knife is also has a lot of sentimental value for me, just like in the review of this knife. I'm not going to tell that story here, but you can check out the I EDC'd slip joints for 2 weeks video if you want to hear that full story. And overall, the fit and finish on this knife is fantastic. It feels like an heirloom. It feels like a special knife, just like with that Trapper. Everything is fit just beautifully. The polishing on all the steel is amazing. You can see the fit and finish here is it's really good. It's really good. It's very crisp. The blades, of course, very high polish. They look really good. So yeah, great knife. Beautiful knife. Beautiful fit and finish. Feels really well made. This is a knife that you can pass down to the generations and feel good about, so that's awesome. Action on this, again, pretty good, right? We are missing that half stop, which I do prefer, but the walk and talk is overall pretty good. This one is not as snappy as the Trapper, but honestly, it's a little bit easier to pull the blade out. You do have to use nail nicks, and so that, a little bit of a lighter spring is not necessarily a bad thing. But yeah, it feels really good. The ergonomics on the Stockman pattern are really nice. You've got kind of this little whoop right here, kind of fits in your palm really well. I do appreciate on this model that the Trapper kind of has, but not really. You see here, the ricasso area is much more exposed on the Stockman. I really appreciate that because you can get your finger up in there and put your thumb on the spine and prevent that blade from closing on you. So, even though it's a non-locking knife, you can use it very safely. And speaking of this being a non-locking knife, this is something I didn't mention in the Trapper review, but the nature of, by nature of these knives being slip joints and non-locking, it makes them very legal friendly in a lot of places. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer. Don't take what I say for law, but that is pretty cool. It is very cool. We have 3 blades. I have mixed feelings about multiple blades. I really do. I asked my community about this question. In fact, I made a little video about it, and 2 channel members chimed in on the video, sharing their thoughts. Dave Goodridge, he made a good point, if you're using it at work, you can use the, one blade to cut, your tubing or whatever it is. I'm making up a story based on his comment. This isn't directly from his comment, but you can, cut the ropes or tubes, whatever it is that you're doing, at your job with one blade, and then when it's lunchtime, you can use a different clean blade to cut your sandwich. I think that's valid. I think that's fair. Sharpened Blade commented, by the way, check out his YouTube channel, commented, and he said that he doesn't like multiple blades on a knife, but it's not because of any utility. It's because he just thinks that it looks ugly. So there's one opinion for you guys. For me, I think it's kind of cool. Throughout my day-to-day life, do I need 3 different blades? No, not really. If one loses its edge, I have some backups that are sharp. That is very useful on a knife like this. But I can definitely see each knife has different uses, right? And so especially if you're like whittling or something and you're, using different blades for different things, it's good. I did find that like one day I was working at the museum and I was cutting a lot of labels. I was using this blade pretty much exclusively. But then a few days later, I was at home and I was cutting some cardboard, I was cutting some food, and I was just using this blade. So having the multiple blades I can see it being useful and kind of redundant at the same time. I go back and forth on that, so I'm not going to make any I'm not going to take a strong position one way or the other. But they do give you the different blades, and each blade is finished beautifully, and yeah, it's really, really nice. So yeah, overall, this knife is just built really, really nicely. The Stockman pattern is one of my favorite traditional knife patterns. I absolutely love it. This is a fantastic rendition of it too. Let's go ahead and get into some negatives. And just like with the Trapper, I'm going to list some things that I don't consider to be negatives, but some people might. These are what we're going to call neutrals. No pocket clip. This is either a pocket dropper or you get a slip for it. I carried this in a slip just because it's so beautiful. I didn't want to scratch it up too bad. I did pocket drop it a couple times. You can see some marks and stuff on the bolsters, but wanted to keep it looking fairly nice. So yeah, some people are going to be really against the pocket droppy nature of this. Other people, it's not going to bother. It doesn't really bother me that much. I do prefer pocket clips, but if I'm going to carry something like this, another thing I do with slip joints like this too is I put them in my fifth pocket if they'll fit, because nothing else goes in there, so it's like a built-in pocket slip. And the other thing, very slippery scales. This whole knife is very slippery. Don't use this in the Vaseline factory. You will drop it. But, I don't go to work at the Vaseline factory, so I'm okay. So yeah, those are some kind of neutral things. On to some actual negatives. I do wish that case would use half stops. I do miss the half stop on this. I think it would make the action on this knife a lot better. Because this knife is not quite, the back spring is not quite as strong on this one as it was on the case. You don't get as much snappiness, and this loses a little bit of that unique slip joint fidget factor. Again, I appreciate that they're lighter because it makes getting the blades out a little bit easier. But if it had a half stop and this same tension of back spring, it'd feel a little bit better, in my opinion. Oh, something else that I forgot to mention that's kind of a neutral thing. Pin construction, you cannot take this knife apart, at least not easily. But I don't think that's a big deal because just to open up all the blades and clean out in there, and you're pretty much good to go. And the next thing we have to talk about is their stainless steel. Case's stainless steel is not good. It's really not good. Having these extra blades might be a good thing to do in the case of this knife because you are going to be maintaining this edge quite a bit. You can see here I've sharpened this one quite a bit. Actually, a couple times when I sharpened it, focus up. A couple times when I've sharpened this, I have not been getting all the way back. You can see we're starting to do a little bit of a smile back there, but yeah, there's a reason why so many case knives have their blades completely sharpened away. It's because you need to sharpen them a lot. A lot. I would love to see Case upgrade their steel. They do have like their carbon steel, which is better. And I said in the review of this knife, which has a carbon steels, it is better than their stainless steel, but it's not great. I would honestly, I think would be. I was thinking about this between filming videos. I think the best steel for Case to transition to would be like 14C or 12C27. I think those would be amazing steels for Case to start using. It doesn't have to be S35VN, doesn't have to be 20CV or anything like that. Like 14C, 12C, I think those would be really, really good. In the last video I suggested D2. No, I scratched that, not D2. 14C, 12C. I think those would be really, really great. So yeah, the performance you're going to get is not that fantastic. But the cutting performance is awesome. Did I say that when I was talking about the pros? This knife does cut very, very well. So if I didn't say that, I meant to say that. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to my final conclusions. How much do these cost? Depending on the version you get, anywhere from like 50 to 120 bucks, right? Can I recommend this knife? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you're going to be sharpening it a lot, but it feels like you're holding a piece of history. It feels like you're holding an heirloom. It's something that you carrying a traditional knife like this just makes you feel good in so many indescribable ways. It really is very weird, but you know, I've often compared it, you know, carrying knives like this, I compare it to shooting traditional firearms, right? You know, we've got things that shoot further, faster, and carry more ammo nowadays, right? But there's something about going to the range or going out in the desert like I do to shoot, and I love like the Colt Single Action Army. I love Single Action Army replicas. Cocking and shooting that gun, it feels fun. It feels like you're harkening back to a simpler time, and I think that's very, very valuable, and I think that's one of the best things you can get from these knives. Plus, amazing cutting performance. These things do cut like absolute champs, but can I recommend this knife? Absolutely. I wish Case would use better steels, but this is still an absolute recommendation. All right, that's going to be it for today, guys. Thank you so much to my channel members. If you want to be a channel member, you can join at the button down below. I really appreciate it. We have fun over there. For the rest of you, if you enjoyed this video, leave it a like, comment below, and subscribe. I've been Gideon, and I'll see you in the next one. Adios.